Today, we're talking about integrating external data in real time. Gordon, explain how this works in Handle.
Yeah, so inside of Handle, we integrate in a lot of data that commonly will come from somebody's business system or some other system that we pull in, and they work with that, do a lot of different things from creating searches and views of the data to being able to manipulate it. But many times there's additional data that needs to be grabbed from another system. And sometimes it's very time sensitive information, stuff that needs to be grabbed real time. And it's maybe not something that exists in-house or in their business system or their accounting package. It's something that maybe a manufacturer or somebody else provides, and we need to pull that in. And so we've created a service that allows us to do this in a couple different ways. But the end result of it basically is we've got the ability to consolidate or pull data from multiple sources, but bring it into one window for the user.
Can you give us an example of how this works?
Yeah, so one of the most common ones is purchase orders. Somebody will be working through a quote or a deal that they've got in our some of our different workflow processes, and they want to display maybe the raw PO data that exists in maybe some other quoting package or system. So you can see over on the right here, this is actually something where you can open up. Once you click into any place inside of Handle, it can make that service call out to the other system and bring back all those raw data pieces so that you can review them here without going out to the third-party application. Another example of that from a visual perspective is PDFs. So if you have any other application where there's PDFs generated, like a PO, for example, we can also call those services and display PDFs or other files directly inside of here, rather than just raw data, so that you can open that up, expand it, zoom in, download it without having to go out and log into that separate application.
Are there any other examples of this?
Yeah, essentially it's endless in that we could be integrating in other external system, but some of the ones that we do today are commonly around inventory. So for example, you might pull up an inventory record and you're going to pull in, maybe it's dealer inventory tracking is another tool that some of our customers use, where we go out and we pull in the location and physicality of the equipment real time from another application. Another example is Satisfied. Satisfied surveys, if they're familiar with those, it's a survey company that goes out and checks on how happy a customer is about the service and parts and things that they purchased. Well, we can pull those into the account, for example. So you can open up the customer, display their account view, all the financials and purchases and things that exist, but then we'll also display all the surveys called live from that system inside of the customer record. And again, we can integrate with anything that allows us to. It's just a matter of whether or not they have a service that allows us to pull that information in.
Now, because this is real-time information, it may need to be refreshed. Can you do that here?
Yes, and so we have a real-time refresh ability to enable that, where most of the time we are calling it live on the fly, but there's other times where then sometimes people will go in and update the information in another system, and then they want to update it or see it here. You can go in and select the refresh button, and it can even pull in live data and do calculations and all kinds of other things that need to happen real time, right directly from that external system.
How do people get started with this?
Well, first we have to identify what it is that they want to pull in and whether or not they've got APIs and integrations. So if they want to do an additional integration that we don't have today, they just need to reach out to us and we can talk about how we can pull that together. But we have basically scripted or a standard template put together that allows us to pull in as long as the other provider or vendor allows this.